couple days ago, I went out to take the dogs out for their evening walk, and one of the roads that I go on, I drove up, there was a tree that had blown down across the road. It was a real nice big spruce tree. Somebody had been ahead of us and cut out a notch in the road there to get through, but it was right there handy on the road, and I knew that firewood vultures would be on it pretty quick. So next day I called up the Forest Service and talked to one of the foresters, see if I could get a permit to get that log to use for making lumber and stuff here around the house. Now here in Alaska, you can take dead or downed wood for free for firewood, but you have to get a permit for using it for personal use wood, like cutting up for lumber, or a dock or a log house or something like that, anything other than firewood. So firewood getters have been getting everything that blows down, everything close to the road here lately, whether it's any good or not. They're right on it almost before it hits the ground. This happened to be on the end of a trail in a campground, and they're not supposed to cut within a mile of a campground or a trail, a park, although nobody seems to be enforcing that here lately. So anyway, I went ahead and called the Forest Service to see if I could get it, and I didn't expect to get a permit for it because it was in the campground. But the guy, the assistant supervisor, actually went out and looked at the log and stopped by the next day and told me that they would give me a permit for it. So we went out and marked it before the firewood guys could get it, and they'd already cut up a good portion of it. So we got it marked, and then nobody touched it, and the forester went out and marked it for us. So we got a permit to get that log out of there. It's a real nice spruce. The log that's left there is about 40 feet long, and it's probably 40 inches or better in diameter on the top. I didn't expect it to be that nice, being in a creek like that. A lot of those logs, trees like that, are rotten in the middle, but that was a real nice tree. It was too nice to leave rot there, too nice to let the firewood butchers get it. We went out a couple days ago, took the bobcat out, and we pushed snow up there. There's a great big deep ditch right there, and I was figuring I could get some logs, some poles, and lay underneath it, and then roll it out of that ditch and get it up to the road. But it snowed, and that complicated things. You can't get out there to where I wanted to get the little poles. So we took this bobcat out there, and I pushed a whole bunch of snow up there and pushed it into that ditch and packed it down with a bucket. It's not very good snow. It's been too cold and dry, so it doesn't pack very well. And I couldn't get it to pack down there immediately to where I could get the bobcat out on it. But I did pack it down, and then we let it sit to freeze up. So I'm going to get ready to go out and try to get that log out of there and get it home before somebody else gets it. So I'm getting out my saws, and this is my Husqvarna 372. It's kind of my all-round saw. I've got a 28-inch bar on it. You can run up to, well, I guess you could run up to a 36-inch bar, but get over 32 inches and it starts getting a little bit shy on power. But it's a pretty good saw. I was using it the other day for cutting firewood, and I noticed that one of the screws fell out here on the starter housing, and this is also the pivot point for the chain brake. So I've ordered new screws, and I got them a couple days ago. Well, I'm going to get this thing in there. Okay, so that's back together. Now it's safe to use the pull start on that, and the chain brake works. I didn't want to try starting this without that on there, because this chain brake pivots on that bolt there, that screw, and then the housing has got 3 other screws in it, but you start pulling on it and pull on an angle, you could very well break that. The last time I used this saw was for cutting firewood, so I need to sharpen the chain on it. And I've sharpened it 3 or 4 times since the last time I took the depth gauges down on it. So I need to take those down too. I'll get my tools out and sharpen the chain on this. This is a 3/8 inch pitch chipper chain. This is a semi-skip tooth chain. I got the chain sharpened on that 372, and I checked the depth gauges on them, and they were actually in pretty good shape. So it's all set up and ready to go. I need to just fuel it up, and it'll be ready to use. That log that we got out there, that tree that we got out there, is big enough to justify the use of my big saw. This is a Husqvarna 3120. It's got a 42-inch cannon bar on it with a semi-skip chisel chain. Actually, I think this is a 404 pitch chisel chain. But I haven't used this for quite a while. It's been sitting for a long time, so I need to get it sharpened up. This takes a square file to sharpen it up, and I haven't ever done that very much until I got this chain, this saw, and this chain. It's the first time I've done any square filing. But I got it, and it sharpened up pretty good. Actually, it's pretty good the way it is. But I'm going to go ahead and touch it up a little bit with a file and then check the rakers on it again. But this chain is relatively new, so we'll see how the depth gauges are in it. Hey, one of the disadvantages of having a big long bar is all the teeth you got to file. You get twice as many of them to file as you do on a short bar. And if this had been a full gang chain, there'd been that much more to file. Anyway, I got that all done. It needed it. You could see the teeth were chewed up a little bit on there, but I think I got it done pretty good. Hey, got the 3120 started and running, and it took 5 or 6 pulls on it or more to get it started, but I forgot that has a throttle lock on it, where most of the newer saws, when you pull the choke on it, it automatically pulls the throttle out and locks it. Well, anyway, once I pulled that out, then it started up in the second pull. Well, it's the first time in, I think, 3 years that thing's been started running. Okay, I'm going to go shut it off, put it away now. I know it'll run. We got the Bobcat loaded up in the trailer. Had a little bit of excitement there this morning, or loading it up. It didn't want to go in, it wanted to tip over backwards. We were trying to load it with the forks on it. I thought the forks would be the best thing to use out there for pulling that log out with, but not enough weight on the front end to counterbalance the Bobcat going up there. So we went and put the bucket on to get a little more weight in the front, and then I backed the trailer up here on the hill a little bit so we could get the back end a little closer to the ground, and it went right up. So anyway, we're just getting it all cleaned up and we're ready to head out the road. Well, there's our log there. Pushed snow out underneath it the other day, so there's slabs underneath it. Slide that one right there.
right, that didn't work.
Right on.
I see you taking your dog for a walk there, Cindy.
I didn't want it taken off.
I saw the log and I thought, yeah.
Okay. Hold it. Take it up. Okay. We'll get the brakes off. What? We'll get the brakes off. Too much snow and ice on the road. We can't get enough traction to get to turn that log. If it was bare road, we'd be able to do it, but just spinning the tires even with the chains on. So.
a 36-foot log. I don't know how deep it is, but it's pretty big. Can't get it out in one chunk, so I guess we'll go for two. It's spinning.
What we've done here now is go over the top of this log with this line and gone over it about 4 times so that when it pulls this way and rolls the log this way. And then here on the bitter end here, I've taken it and just wrapped it around the standing portion of this line 4 or 5 times. And that way, when we pull on the line, pull on this line, that'll come tight and it won't spin, it won't slip, and we don't have to tie a knot in the line or put a kink in it in place or anything. So Well, there's our first log in the back of the trailer. I was thinking we could get both in there, but that would have been a stretch. We can't get the other one to quite come out yet anyway, so I'm going to have to do some more work on it, but it's getting time to quit for the day now. So we'll take this one in, get rid of it, come back out tomorrow and try it again.